Hi, my name is Alice. I want to share my story with you. It's about a secret room, but not just any room. Mine is located in a very unusual place, in the men's locker room. Yes, that's where it is. How did it end up there, and why there? I'll tell you all about it now. And while you watch, give me lots of likes. You won't regret it. The beginning of the story is a little sad. My brother Jasper died. He was practically king at school, and everyone loved him a lot. Of course, he was the head of the student council, and he was the captain of the varsity basketball team. You probably think now that we were rich, and I was his bitchy, selfish sister. But no. Surprisingly, there are times when money doesn't decide things. My brother, in his own right, was always and everyone's favorite. He was incredibly kind, helpful, respected, and reached out to everyone, which can't be said about me. Jasper got sick a couple of years ago with blood cancer. My family and I supported him, he did chemo, and it helped him live for a negligible amount of time. I always asked the universe to give me his disease because, unlike me, a sociopath, Jasper had a brilliant future. My parents understood that too, and pinned all their hopes on his college, a prestigious job, a bright mind in our family. I told you, we were an average family. Money was often tight, so we had high hopes for my brother. And then, boom, diagnosis, treatment, less and less money. My brother often wanted to end his life quickly so he wouldn't have to pay for his treatment, but we wouldn't let him think about it. In the end, he was gone for good. After the funeral, I was very sad. It was unclear how we were going to live now. Suddenly, I felt a great responsibility for what I was living, that I was now alone and would have to carry the weight of the family's future on my shoulders. It was scary. Have you ever felt anything like that? What did you do when that happened? A month after my brother passed away, the school was having an assembly to celebrate his birthday. Everyone wanted to have a reunion in honor of their favorite, and I was pleased. However, after the official part, as we were leaving, I heard the boys on the basketball team talking. There were two boys there. The closest to Jasper were Mike and Austin.
Did you go to his secret room after he died? No. Did you?
I didn't either. I don't have the code to the lock.
Where'd you get it?
I don't know. He didn't say. I just know it's in our locker room, and he didn't let any of us in there. He only mentioned once that if anybody would guess the code, it would be his little sister.
Yeah, I'd like to get in there. Our captain in his secret room. I bet he had a whole collection of photos and videos of his exes in there.
After these words, my anger boiled over. I went up to the guys and yelled that they had no right to talk like that. I was furious at the way they were vilifying my brother. He wasn't like that, I yelled, which made everyone turn around. But the boys only laughed. They said I didn't know Jasper well enough, and that he was the first womanizer and their most secretive friend. I went home with those thoughts in mind. It wasn't pleasant, but to prove otherwise, I had to see for myself. Choosing a convenient day, the day of the basketball competition, when all the students went to our stadium, I waited until no one was in the locker room and on the floor and made my way inside. At first glance, there wasn't much to see. Lockers, benches, people's stuff, and a shower. I found Jasper's locker. It was open and empty. There was nothing there. I looked for a door in the wall, on the floor, on the ceiling, when suddenly I was reminded of my brother's words. Sometimes the obvious is right on the surface. The street, I guessed. As I circled around the locker room from the street outside, I saw a small door, more like a burrow, littered with old-school furniture. When I cleared it out, I knew this was it, because the door had the date of my birth written on it. There was a lock. I had to work hard to figure out the code, the date of death of my grandfather, whom my brother and I loved very much. I went in there, closed the door, and found the light. Oh no, what the? I said out loud. It turned out to be no longer a room, but a utility room. On the floor were boxes of bags, copies of passports, pills, and powders. I couldn't believe that my brother was a drug dealer. And what's worse, he must have been using himself. I was filled with despair and pain. I wanted to cry. There were some pictures in the drawer of Jasper at a party, and I could see the strange expression on his face, like he was high. I closed the door and ran home, crying all night, and then fell asleep. In the middle of the night, I suddenly woke up, feeling cold. I thought I had forgotten to close the window, but when I opened my eyes, Jasper was sitting next to me on my bed. Ah! I yelled. Hush, hush, you'll wake everyone up.
What do you think you're doing? I can see everything from heaven. You found my secret room. I've got a lot of unfinished business. Now that you're into it, you ought to finish it for me.
You were a drug dealer and probably used to do drugs yourself. How could you even do that?
Mike and Austin forced me to. You don't know these high rollers. Do you think they just loved me? Oh no, they didn't touch me because I worked for them. And when I found out I was sick, I had nothing to lose. So I started saving money for you to go to college.
Were you on drugs?
It doesn't matter now. I've got something for you. I saved the money. It's in the bank. The account and the password you'll understand when they ask you a question at the bank. You'll withdraw it in full after you sell the rest of the merchandise. There will be a lot of money in there. Enough for you to study.
It's dirty money. I'm not going to take it.
Alice, you have to. If you don't, these people will find you, or our parents anyway, and finish what they started. And that's it.
I was angry, crying, but I knew there was a threat, so I listened carefully to Jasper and decided to do as he told me, step by step. I woke up in the morning, and it felt like a dream, if it hadn't been for the shoe impression next to my bed. I got inside the room, found a phone number, texted it, and packed everything into a bag. I was supposed to bring the gym bag with the contents to the playground near the school and leave it there next to the trash and pick up the money in a tree hollow. I did it all, except there was no money in the tree. I started to panic. I was looking for it on the ground, in the grass, and then Mike showed up.
Is this what you're looking for?
He showed me the roll in his hand and hid it in his pocket again. I asked him to give it to me, but he said I owed him for my brother.
You have to share. Your brother didn't work alone, so give us his share. Give me the key to the back room.
I'm not giving you anything! I took off running. I almost got hit by a car as I ran across the street. I lost my way through the crowd of people and ran into the next street, wanting to breathe, but Austin jumped out from behind me. He grabbed my arms, then Mike came running up. They took me around the corner and threatened that if I didn't give them the key, they'd tell the police and steal everything from me. We went to the school and I got the key out, but on the way, I managed to call the cops with the emergency button on my phone in my pocket. The guys took the key out of my bag, opened the room and went inside, and tied me up by my hands. They turned everything upside down but didn't find anything. I cleaned everything up and took it out, destroyed it, and wiped off all my prints as my brother told me to. Mike and Austin were yelling,
"Where's the goods? Where's the money?"
And I pretended like I was scared and like they'd kidnapped me. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw someone outside coming toward us, and I knew it was the cops. At that moment, I fell to the ground and shouted, "Please don't hurt me! Don't hurt me!" That's when the cops came running in. They thought they had stolen me, and I gave them the same statement at the station. In the course of the investigation, the police found out about Mike and Austin's dirty dealings. But by this time, Jasper had managed to clean up his mess, his name intact, as well as mine. To be honest, I still don't know how it worked out, but I got lucky. I withdrew the money from the account my brother had left, and there was plenty of it. He also enclosed a letter detailing all their dealings with the guys. They pressured him hard, and he put up with it, only to save money for my education. I knew my brother loved me and cared, but I didn't think about what it cost him. After those events, I waited for him in my dreams, but he never came. He only wrote short messages like, "I love you, I'm here for you," on the glass in my room. It helped me to gain strength and at least to know that he's okay now. Have you ever lost someone close to you? Do you talk to them? How do you talk to them? Tell me, guys, did you like my story? Write your opinion about it in the comments below the video. Don't forget to like it, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel.